Well, Eric Ten Hag, upon arriving down in Barcelona, touching down there before training with the team, with his players of Manchester United at Spotify Camp Nou Stadium, he had to hold a press conference and it was done. And I think we're having some positive news coming in from that press conference because there is an Antony and Martial injury boost that has really got us excited, and we are beaming with joy with the fans of Manchester United. Welcome to Manchester United Matters channel. Rock and David is my name. I'm trying to get into the third video of the day because I think you guys have been loving the first that I've gone ahead to go ahead and really publish onto this channel, and you guys are really great, and let's continue throwing and spreading the love more than ever. Now, smash the like button and comment, guys. Subscribe. We want to hit 12,000 subscribers, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe if at all you're watching us for the very first time. Now, Eric Ten Hag, while down in Barcelona, has been really vocal about the progress that Antony, Martial, Antony Santos, and Scott McTominay are making. And you know what he said? Antony, Martial, and Scott McTominay looks good. They are on the way back. They are on the training ground individually. They are making progress, meaning that their progress is really up and running. And this is news and music to the ears of every United fan. I think if you are to play on Sunday against Leicester City and these players make it happen onto the bench, it will be a very huge boost, because in the game of Leicester City, if you tell me that Scott McTominay is back, I think I rest Freddie and I bring in Scott McTominay to play with Sabitzer in that double pivot, because Freddie has gone ahead to play very many games of football. He has played very many games of football. That is Freddie, and I think he needs to rest, because we don't want to see these players ascertaining another injury, because the injuries that are hitting us hard in the midfield are really huge. Donny van de Beek, Christian Eriksen, the suspension of Casemiro. So I feel like it's enough. It's enough for us. We should call in for something more, because I can't see a team I support lose out another midfielder. If Scott McTominay is back over the weekend, that's good news for us, because I think it's better for the manager to take him on to start. Freddie comes in later to play with Sabitzer, because Sabitzer is really rested in this game that we're going to play tomorrow against Barcelona. Then for Anton Martial, that is music to me. I know he has not been available, he's injured, but every time he's available, we play better. We play better as a team, and every player in that team really plays well, as Jordan Sancho, Rashford, Bruno, and very many others. I'm not downplaying the efforts of Weghorst. Weghorst is a very good player, but I believe every time you're having Anton Martial leading that line, the way he really does that involvement, or he involves other players of United into play, it's really massive and something that you would love to watch. Even tomorrow in the game of Barcelona, if I had Anton Martial there, I would stand here and not say that we are going to do a draw. I would have stood here comfortably telling you we are beating Barca, because I know what Martial is all about. You get? Martial can really put all that back for on tender hooks. He can receive the ball in half turn. He can play with his back to goal. His unselfishness when he's in the final third of the opponent, and he's a threat to everyone in the backline of Barcelona. If you're having Martial in the game of Barcelona, Xavi is going to run short of options on who to mark. That means you're creating more space for Rashford to really operate, because Martial has all what it takes to get a ball and face three defenders, and the more he does that hold-up play, that means he's attracting more defenders towards him, and when he attracts them to him, do you know what happens? Rashford is getting space in the wide areas, meaning that if he's having Christensen and Garcia onto him, then Frankie de Jong adds himself there for you, and we do the movements very well. That means Freddie will take a good direction. Bruno makes good space. That means Araujo will be left with no option. He will just push into the half space near the 18 yards box area of his goal. Then Rashford will be left with yards of space in the left wide area. The same applies to the left side where Sancho is going to be playing. I think the same business will occur, if at all could occur, if at all we had Anton Martial. That's why I tell you that I'm really beaming with joy, and it really comes in a perfect time, because even if Martial misses out on Sunday, I believe on Thursday, when you're hosting Barcelona at Old Trafford, he's really going to be part of this team. he's really going to be part of his team. And if at all the progress is made, do you know what that means? He'll be on bench versus Leicester City, come on, play some 20 minutes. Then later, he will be in contention to start as we are playing Barcelona at Old Trafford. That's the beauty of Anton Martial. Let's go to Antony Santos, the Brazilian. To me, all these players are really important in these games that we are really having that are coming in thick and fast. Let me show you the importance of Antony. Antony gives us balance of the right wide area. He gives us balance because he's a very good player. He's a very good player, especially in the way that we play, because the reference that he gives the club of Manchester United is out of this world. You know, most people have not gone ahead to appreciate Antony, but me, I was appreciating everything he was doing. He tracks back very well, the energy, the intensity, great. There are two things I was demanding from him. One, being direct and cutting inside. In the previous 3-4 games, Antony has been doing that perfectly. Secondly, not always going in for the curling effort on the far post every time he is nearing around the D. Because every time he nears around the D, if you don't know the D, it's that arc on the 10-yard box area, he just goes in for selfish effort to curl in those balls at the back of the net. I know he has scored close to 2 goals through those efforts, but when he did it to Casemiro, I think we are playing, is it Nottingham Forest? Or we are playing Reading. We are playing Reading in the FA Cup, and he released him. I think he even won the man of the match of that game. So, in the second game, he did it for Weghorst, but I think Weghorst, as he really tried to take the first touch, the defender of Reading read him like a book and obviously stopped it. I think we are playing Nottingham. I don't remember that game. But it shows you that those were the two things that I was calling for him. And if I told you a swift winger playing off the wide areas, what makes you more deadly is you cutting inside. Every time you diverge to the touchline, you are really favoring this team. You are just helping them reorganize. But when you get that ball and run diagonally towards the 18-yard box area of the opponent, that means you are really being a threat and putting the team in a perfect position to go out and score. So I believe these 3 players, good that they're all progressing very well, and some of them I think are going to be returning for the game of Leicester City, and others, when you're playing Barcelona at Old Trafford in the return leg, they are all going to be here. And remember, Barcelona will have only one back, that is Busquets, and Ousmane Dembele won't be back. So for us, we'll be having Lisandro Martinez, Sabitzer, Martial, Antony, and Scott McTominay. What a boost that we'll be having in that game as we gear up for the finale of the Carabao Cup at Wembley on 26th of this month. Thank you guys for watching again. Let's continue with what Ten Hag really said again in the press conference, as he really did the needful to talk about the team of United. Then he said, we have many options in the squad. We can use Luke Shaw as fullback and centre back. We also have good other options. We can choose by game what we prefer. And it shows you how important this manager is. He came out and was very vocal on United players being able to play in more than one position. And he has shown us that every player of United can play in more than one position. And the first one of all was Malacia. You go. Everyone was shocked in the game of Fulham that really closed down the season as we went to the World Cup, when he played him as a right back, when he doesn't even have anything right-footed in him. But he played very well, closed down that area very well. Though the goal we conceded, it's because Bruno Fernandes does a hauler, and obviously they go past him. The other player that was shifted in a different position was Luke Shaw, being played as a central defender. The other player that was shifted was Lindelof, being played as a CDM. You saw in the game of Leeds what he did to Weghorst. He played Weghorst as a number 10 and shifted Bruno off to the right wing. You get the other change that he made when you're playing Nottingham and beat it by 2-0, playing Sancho as a central attacking midfielder. I think this guy deserves all the credit. He has gone ahead to really show to it that he is a master of his own craft. and he's trying to use these players to see to it that he grooms them to be able to play in more than one position, such that if at all you are lacking a player, or because of suspension or injury, it just puts us in a position of really not mourning and knowing that we are having a replacement for that position. Then that's why he's talking about that we also have other good options. And he hinted about playing Luke Shaw of the left back. And you know that he's going to be played in the centre back on the left side of the central defence. That is Luke Shaw for you, the player of Manchester United. Then he talked about the intensity of the game, comparing the La Liga and the Premier League. That I think that is true. The Premier League is high intense football, but I also think La Liga is a strong league. It's also high intense, so I don't think it will be a big difference between the two teams. That's what the manager said, that there's no big difference expected between these two teams, Manchester United and Barca. But I really believe there is a very huge difference, because the level at which we play every weekend is not the level at which Barcelona plays every weekend. Trust me, you bring Barcelona in the Premier League, it wouldn't have only conceded 7 goals in the Premier League, because teams like Man City that are really far much better than Barcelona, Arsenal, have conceded very many goals. When you look at Arsenal, the team that is really topping the Premier League table, let me see how the standings are for Arsenal. The standings for Arsenal. How many goals have they conceded? Arsenal have conceded 19 goals. Man City have conceded 23 goals. United have conceded 28. Newcastle have conceded 13. So the least team in the Premier League that have conceded least games is Newcastle. And that shows you that Barcelona, if at all they were in the Premier League, they wouldn't have been at that level of only conceding those number of goals. I believe they would have conceded more. And I think there is a huge difference between United and Barcelona, because the opposition we face week in, week out is different. You get? I believe Bournemouth can stretch Barcelona at their stadium and even make them concede. You get? So I believe there is a very huge difference between Manchester United and Barcelona. I think Ten Hag just said that to just want to pass on respect, but I think there is a very big difference in the competitions that we play on the league basis, week in, week out. Then he said it's clear when you see the stats of Barcelona, it's impressive. They defend well, but I think their biggest skill is they have so much possession. To quote Johan Cruyff, when you have the ball, the opponent cannot score. And I believe with them having Xavi, for now, I think he has made a year at the club of Barcelona, and Barcelona being a team whose philosophy is passing the game, is passing the ball all time. I think it's really no-brainer to come out and really say that they are really good passers of the ball, because that's what the philosophy of Barcelona has been for very many years, and it will never stop. Let no one lie to you. Every money that comes in through, the first request that is made to him is to go out and really help his team play out very, very well. That is a team known as Barcelona, and it's no-brainer to me. I believe that's their philosophy, and they are keeping the ball very, very well, and I like the way they do it. But I think, and us, the beauty is that we've not yet gone ahead to turn into that team that can really see ourselves go into control of the game very, very well. But I think we are a team that has quality players, that when they get that ball in those moments, they just pass it out well, and they can cause threat to the opponent. Barcelona have mastered their craft. They can pass out very, very well for the entire 90 minutes. But even United, they can build from the back, and when they get that ball, they find themselves in good positions. With Casemiro returning, I think we are going to be a very huge team, and anticipations are really going to be high and wide for the fans of United. Then the manager had the following to say: I think Barca is also a difficult club to manage, but I think they are playing their best football for several years. You see Cruyff's influence there. I think it's an easy club to manage, because you are not having the opposition that you're having in the Premier League. In the Premier League, you're really having opposition that you have to plan for because of the intensity that these teams play with. That is it. Barca, if you beat Real Madrid and win the La Liga, it's going to be okay. But in the Premier League, you're having like 5 all 4 Real Madrids to battle up with. Look at United. They have to tussle it out with Man City. They have to tussle it out with Chelsea. Newcastle is another upcoming force. Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool and Arsenal. You are having close to 6-7 teams that are really huge, that can really cause havoc to your side. Apart from those, there are even others, the likes of Brighton, that can give you a game, the Leicester Cities, that can shock you. The Aston Villas are really coming in with huge force because they can spend more than Aston Villa. I think we are a different side altogether as far as I think. Then Ten Hag really had to say that. I think both clubs have the ambition to be in the Champions League and to have an impact in it. To make semi-finals and win even. But the reality is, we are in the Europa League, which shows both clubs needed a reset, obviously. But the difference is, for Barcelona, they never needed a reset after 10 years. Their reset has just come in close to 3 years because I think Koeman had really seen them drop off. Even the previous manager, I've forgotten his name, that is it, the one that really died of cancer. So they really needed a reset, and the departure of Lionel Messi really did them bad because they had not prepared for that time for him to departure. Because if at all they knew that, they would have gone ahead and really brought in a replacement for him, as they did for a player called Ronaldinho, because they let Ronaldinho go when they knew that they had Lionel Messi with them. But I believe their reset has really hurried a lot. But United's reset really took a lot of time to happen. That's it. 10 years now, we bring in Erik ten Hag to reset the club of Manchester United to get back to winning ways. And I think that is something that you would always go on and really commend about Barcelona, that for them, they never allowed their reset to take all that long. And both in Europa League, for us, I think last season we played in the Champions League. We even went through the group stages. But for Barcelona, for the previous 2 Champions League seasons, they've not managed to get out of the group stages. That's it. But for us, last time we played the Champions League and we got through the group stages, and we never played UEFA Europa League, but Barcelona are playing UEFA Europa League for 2 consecutive years, which is really abysmal for a club like Barcelona, and I believe that's another difference that you need to note into this game of football. And lastly, the manager had the following to say about the game and what type of game should we expect tomorrow as we take on Barcelona. He said, I think it's exciting to face each other tomorrow night because it will help both clubs. With such tests, you get better. So he's talking about both clubs getting better, and such tests are really going to do us better. So thank you much for watching in through Rock and David remains my name. Your reactions to the Erik ten Hag press conference, Barcelona versus Manchester United, and obviously your reactions in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts are and your predictions maybe, and your thoughts about Anton Martial, Scott McTominay, and Martial injury bust. May the Almighty Lord bless you abundantly. Sign out for now. See you later. Arsenal is level with Man City. It's 1-1. Me as a fan of Manchester United, I would love it to be 1-1. That's what I would love it to be. Because that means City will be at how many points? 47, right? Will be at 49 points. Level up with games with us. Arsenal would have played 22 games and having 52 points, just 6 points behind Manchester United. And that means, even if they win their game in hand, they will be 9 points ahead of us. That means the title race will be restored back. But if at all Arsenal wins, I think there will be a lot of divergency that would have been caused up, down there. And I believe that will really put us into a fight with Man City, because if at all Man City loses, they'll be at 48 and they'll be at 46. 2 points separating the two of us. I'm out.